How about those?
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now, here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the very next edition of Four Guys in a Bar, presented by Chiefs Blitz, chiefsblitz.com. Check us out at Chiefs Blitz on our YouTube channel. Hit the like, hit subscribe. Please tell all your friends, everybody that climbs on today. Already at 30 seconds in. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I'm your host, Nick Athan, and joined by Mr. Hense Todd with Bowtie Sports. You can check out his show with Coach Andre Tillman every Saturday, 1 o'clock. On his YouTube channel at Bowtie Sports. It's highly entertaining. I suggest you give it a watch and subscribe. Anyway, before we start our show today and we talk about the magic of the three-peat and the desire of Patrick Mahomes to get more rings, let's talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. He is my trusted real estate advisor, and he can be your trusted real estate advisor. It's pretty simple. Give Eric a call at 816-729-3785 if you're looking to buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City area. If you're in an outlining area, he's got partners all over the country that can help you and assist you to make sure that your real estate transaction is top shelf, as it was for myself and my wife, Emily. We appreciate all Eric and his team did, and that's what you want. You want someone who's going to go to bat for you every step of the way. Even after closing, we had a couple of issues, and he and his team took care of it. So give Eric Haynes a call at 816-729-3785. You can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
And that is the thundering East Coast voice of Mr. Lou Montagna. And also joined by the coach, Andre Tillman, sporting his Missouri Tiger hat today.
I know it hurts your feelings, Nick. I'm on the other side.
I would go grab my Rock Chalk hat, but I don't have it near me.
All right, you good.
I had the intro music for Lou.
Let it roll, man. Let it roll.
Hoppa! Love it.
Hey, I was listening to this song yesterday. I said, hey, this gonna be the next intro song.
Hey. Anytime you,
I think that should be for the Chiefs.
Anytime you get
so
Dean Martin on the show, it's a good day. It's a good.
You can't go wrong with Dean Martin. The Crooners, the Rat Pack. Oh my gosh, to have been alive in that era would have been.
What is the Rat Pack? Like I've been hearing the Rat Pack lately. What is the Rat Pack?
The Rat Pack consisted of basically Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Joey Bishop, Sammy Davis Jr. I'm trying to think of the other
Peter
guys.
Lawford.
And they made a movie called Ocean's 11 that was remade by George Clooney and his friends. Highly suggest watching it. It is an excellent movie. And they were basically the men in charge of Las Vegas, and they ran the place. They ran every aspect of Las Vegas. They were a group that went out and did whatever they wanted, party, put on great shows. And some of the escapades are absolutely legendary. And then if you're a fan in the 80s of the Breakfast Club movie, the Brat Pack was a similar group, younger kids. And it's kind of a rip-off, takeoff of what it was. But the Rat Pack was probably the most exciting entertainment group of absolute legends that just went out on stage and put on a show. And they would drink, they would party, they would have a good time, but everybody loved them. And I would have killed. I was very fortunate. I got to see Frank Sinatra in one of his last shows in Las Vegas, front row. It was amazing. It was special. And I wish I'd have seen the rest of the guys as up close and personal as I did that night.
Okay, got you.
So
got you.
You have your homework. Go watch Ocean's 11, the original.
I will.
The original one. I know it was like original. I know it was original.
Yeah, it's you have to watch it. Take it with a grain of salt. I mean,
Big grain of salt.
It's
A good
very
grain.
subdued, in terms of like the glitz and what Las Vegas has kind of turned into, and kind of some of the special effects and different things that you see in movies. But it was done it was in the 60s, I think.
It was early 60s, and again, it was Vegas at the time. It didn't it isn't like it is now. But even in George Clooney versions, they were pretty good too. They definitely had carried some of the element of the original Rat Pack and the camaraderie and all that. But just it would have been an incredible time to be around in that era, to be hanging out with those dudes. Absolutely. Not the past. I'm old enough to remember that. You're not.
Well, I'm letting it sink in.
All right,
I'm letting it sink in, and I will do my homework. I'm going to go watch Ocean 11.
So for Chiefs who leave it, we're gonna put a poll out there. If that you want the Pink Panther or you want
when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
Hey, I think it fit. I think it fit.
Give me Dean Martin over the Pink Panther like 99.9% of the time.
Have me and my kids singing that song. They said, "Turn it off, Daddy." I said, "Hey, I'm trying to find another channel for the show." And my wife walking around the house singing it all loud. The kids.
That's great.
I was like, "Hey, I think this would be a perfect fit." But speaking of, perfect fit, Patrick Mahomes is going and looking for that fourth ring. Now, I know I'm a Chiefs fan. I told you last time.
You're a Homer Chiefs fan.
I was like, man, what the heck? I didn't know. I forgot, they beat 49ers twice. But again, I said, dang, he already got 3 rings, you know what I mean, at a young age, all the Pro Bowls and, honors and everything he had. He's on top of the world right now. Right now you got Brady. I know Brady was the best, but you got Patrick Mahomes coming up next. And what you guys think is going to take there to actually get that fourth? Go ahead, Luke.
Well, I guess start off with this. If he gets a third in a row, fourth in how many years? 7 years starting or whatever it happens to be, and his floor is losing in the AFC Championship game in overtime twice. Okay, that's the floor,
right?
No, you can't talk. I mean, you see these ridiculous comparisons and who's the best and everything else. There is no question that it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the people that bring it up are just looking for clicks and whatever, just trying to say, well, this guy thinks that he is not the best. Well, come on, man. So in terms of getting the fourth, and if it's to be this year, again, I think I've said it many times, it's the key is going to be health, his in particular, but I think just an overall health of the team. And they've been, knock on wood, relatively healthy for this entire run. Patrick playing on one leg was just otherworldly. So that was kind of an outlier. Probably hopefully never have to see that again. But I think if everybody remains healthy, Hollywood, I don't think he has to have like a Pro Bowl year. If he has an effective year, if he is able to bring the deep ball back, that's just going to make the offense so much more explosive and so much more dangerous. And other teams are really going to have to try to pick their poison more than they had to last year. So, it just, again, overall in one word, health.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if he's healthy, probably 2 bum legs, he'd probably still be a pretty good starting quarterback. I mean, I think Robert Griffin III kind of put that post out maybe about a week or so ago. And he said, hey, if Patrick Mahomes wins 3 straight Super Bowls, something that's never been done in NFL history, is he the new GOAT? And he kind of argued yes. Brady won 2, and the only 2 Super Bowls that he's lost to are to Brady. And that's kind of the thing that's kind of hanging over. They're never going to get another matchup. And so this debate's going to rage on until Patrick gets 7 or 8. But I think if he wins 3 in a row, and I was doing a show on NFL Sirius Radio over the weekend, and they asked me about this team and can they do it? And to me, it all boils down to one thing. It's just who's going to be the left tackle, and it's that left tackle. That's the only weakness on this football team. And Patrick Mahomes had a lot more weaknesses last year.
Potential weakness. We don't know.
Potential weakness. I'm just saying heading into camp, because we do not know who the starter is going to be.
It's more the unknown. We don't know how good or bad they'll be.
Correct. I think the rest of the line is solid. I think Thuney will be back. But to answer the question of the day, he has every belief that they're going to win 3 in a row. And it won't stop there. If they win 3, they're going to go for 4. It's just he believes and he understands what the only goal of the season is. It's win the Super Bowl. If not, it's a wasted season. All that hard work you start from a week after the season through the regular season and the postseason, if you lose, these guys are going to be pissed. And so, yes, I would put him as the greatest quarterback in the modern day version of NFL, absolutely above Tom Brady if he wins 3 in a row, because I think
then he's at 4 with Montagna and Bradshaw, who at that point were both of those guys. I think they're in their own class because they never lost a Super Bowl.
No.
And they've got honestly 4 rings on their own. So
honestly, it's like this, man. Mahomes won with less. He's won with less, guys. Let's throw it out there. Bad offensive line, won with less receivers, above average, underachieving receivers. And he did it with less, man. And he got 3. He's going on 4 with the weapons he do need. Now, you know how the saying goes sometimes. Sometimes you get what you want. Doesn't nothing necessarily get you to the dance, right? Because he won with less. So sometimes a player can be too spoiled and not make the playoffs and not like live up to expectation. I'm not saying Mahomes is not going to do it, but what I'm saying is this: he won with less. Now, if he go ahead and three-peat it, to me, I believe he would be the best. I believe he is the best, because if you can three-peat
Hold on. Now he's saying he's the best. First it was Joe Burrow. Now I see you
come on.
Around,
now Nick alone. I didn't even mention Burrow. I'm going off for accolades. So I'm going off for championships. Not that Joe Burrow is a better quarterback. Now, anyway, so I'm gonna say this:
Hense is bringing gasoline to
the
little smoldering embers.
He is, because listen, it don't take this much to get me going. So I'm gonna say this. I think Mahomes is going to do it. If he three-peats of guys, there's no doubt in my mind.
There's no more conversation.
There's no more.
Yeah, it's no more conversation.
Before we get into my take on it, go ahead and read a question there, Nick.
Yeah, Gary's. Do you think Mahomes has transformed the quarterback position? Kids growing up will fashion their play like his, enabling more young players to play like Mahomes. Yeah, absolutely. I think you're already seeing that. And you got to remember, in the college game, they don't have as much time to practice and do all the things that NFL teams get to do. But you're starting to see, just look at the draft class the last couple of years of quarterbacks. I mean, you've got guys who are highly talented. They're mobile. They can do Patrick Mahomes like stuff. Doesn't mean they're going to be Patrick Mahomes. I don't think there's ever going to be anybody like him ever again. I just don't see it from, the way he started his career to the way he'll end it as being the greatest ever. But yeah, I think I think a lot of young players are going to say, okay, I need to develop my game in high school and in the early stages of college until they transfer 2 or 3 different times to an elite program. This is what I need to do. Okay, I just need to watch tape. Mahomes talked a lot about watching a lot of football players growing up, including Tom Brady and the Joe Montanas and things like that. So he understood. And obviously, coming from an athletic background with his dad playing baseball for so many years, that certainly helped. But he gets it. He understands it. And these young kids are starting to see, if Mahomes keeps winning Super Bowls, then, okay, this is what I have to do to be a great player. And they're going to see the commitment, and they're going to see what he does on and off the field. And he's also very well-rounded and very grounded. And that helps too, because he's a good family man. So it's almost like a perfect storm. He came to a franchise that was in desperate need of a superstar that could change the narrative. He found the right head coach. He had an all-world tight end. He had a good offensive line. He didn't have a very good defense until it was great last year. And it came on in the 2 Super Bowl wins late in the season. So all those things, Gary, to be honest with you, kind of have to collide. And we'll see. We'll see which one of these young quarterbacks are going to be able to kind of say, okay, hey, I'm the new guy now. And Patrick Mahomes will be up for the challenge for sure.
Slippery slope, to say that you can recreate that because of all the things you just mentioned, Nick. And a lot of it is his upbringing and living with a professional athlete, having that sort of experience of seeing it firsthand. Because most kids aren't going to be trained to do those things. But you look at somebody like a Caleb Williams who makes those types of plays, the arm angles, all that stuff. But is he going to have the next guy going to have the self-discipline to say, okay, I know I can do that, but I can't rely on that and win consistently. And I think that's when Patrick, the switch flipped at a certain point, I think during his rookie season and working with Alex Smith, and said, okay, it's great to be able to make these plays, but we're not going to win consistently. He saw that at Texas Tech. And now you see him just evolve into this kind of surgical Brady-like guy, but on a given play, he can make magic happen as well. So you got to be careful if you're a kid trying to recreate.
Yeah, this is true.
All that.
I put it as post Father's Day. I hope all y'all had a great Father's Day, by the way. But post Father's Day, thank God for his father. You know what I mean? To be there, showing him the way, show him how to be a professional. And like Lou said, growing up in a household with somebody that already done it, and growing up around it. This is gonna make this kid the one of the best to ever do it. I feel like a cool kid is coming out of just put Kansas City on the map, and you got all these restaurants here. They got the sporting not sporting Kansas City, but the Kansas City Current. They got a lot that's going on, and for Kansas City that now you're gonna put us back on the map with another ring. I feel like this is just a great athlete that we ever had that's ever been here in Kansas City. But besides, Len Dawson and those guys, the guys that came before him.
Well,
but
yeah, as far as quarterback, Lenny wasn't a great athlete, but he was he was pretty good. He got the job done. He was pretty mobile for. Remember, he didn't get a starting gig in Kansas City or Dallas till he was 32 years old. So, he paid his dues for a long time, and in that era, football is a whole lot different than it is now.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
One of the keys there was, I guess, just from the historical sense, is that Hank coached him at Purdue.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the big pull for him, not just to jump from the NFL to AFL, but obviously the chance to play. But you're right, Hense. I mean, this is, we may never see a guy like this again. And especially, for him to land in Kansas City was just, genius. It's just, serendipity.
Thank you, Bruce Arians, for taking. We could have had that in Arizona. We could have had this. We could have had all this in Arizona. But hey, different topic, different discussion, man. But again, Mahomes is a jewel for the city, and he is doing great things for the city.
They were just waiting on Kyler Murray.
But speaking of Arizona, man, hey, they. Marvin Harrison Jr. could be like that, just like his dad, like having a guy that's in the household, showing him the way. I feel like he is. He
will be.
I don't even know. I joke aside about Marvin, Pinto Marv, but actually, I feel like the kid is going to actually come out, be a great player. I feel like he's going to be the next Larry Fitzgerald. Now, and then if he teams up and go down there with Larry Fitzgerald, teams up with that guy, and like everybody do with Tomahawk Lee, the kid can go a long way.
Yeah, he's special.
Speaking of a kid that's going a long way and having a heck of an off season, and I'm glad that the Chiefs have brought him back. It's Nico Harman. Georgia gave him they welcomed him home, gave him a statue out front. Just amazing off season that the kid is having. besides after the Super Bowl, he went on the talk show, and the Jets came after him, and that terrible organization. But other than that, Nico Hardman had 3 rings. He got 3 rings with Patrick Mahomes. More rings as you look at it, more rings than Tyreek Hill himself. So what you think?
You do mention that a lot, more than Tyreek every time. I think too.
Man, hey, Tyreek took the shots at the Kingdom and tried to apologize, but I don't feel like it's set in well with me. I want to fully apologize.
Yeah, he could be traded before the season begins. So
Tyreek was a key component.
Yeah. What y'all think about Nico Hardman?
Well, I mean, I think it's a good signing. It makes a lot of sense. We still don't know what's going to happen with Rashee Rice. He knows the offense. I mean, heck, he caught the Super Bowl winning catch, and that's not something you overlooked.
Yeah,
you can't overlook that. You can't overlook the fact that he's popular. He loves his teammates. His teammates love him. Heck, Taylor Swift loves him too. So, she put a post on there that they re-signed Mecole Hardman as she was also celebrating with the players in the overseas at 4 a.m. when they were getting the rings. And I think, listen, Mecole is he going to be a starter? No. He's going to be a guy that's going to get maybe 20, 25 snaps. And if he holds on to the ball and learns his lessons from a couple of fumbles a year ago, then absolutely. And, for Bowman, Georgia to come out and to do that for him, I think it's great. And they may have to chisel that to be 4-time Super Bowl champion, at the sometime next spring. But listen, you can't have enough receivers. You can't have enough running backs, and you can't have enough cornerbacks on your football team.
Man, I get the big moment, guys. I see this stuff, man. Yeah, acting like this man went out there.
He's ultimate in the ring.
Listen.
Let him have his say.
I'm not gonna be the sour apple, but man, we praising the guy to make a couple of decent plays. It wasn't like he was out there getting busy. But I'm gonna say this: for him to be a favorite for the Kansas City Chiefs, just a favorite player. The guys love him off the field. He's a great guy. I get that, but I'm not going to sit here and acting like he was better than Tyreek Hill. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Got more rings.
They got more rings, but he's not better. Bow tie. He's not better. But again, he's cool.
You see when you don't chase the bag and you say I'm a team player. He's a team player.
Why not chase the bag? Why not chase the bag though? He earned it.
He said I'm a team player. He said I'm
Tyreek Hill. Hey, Tyreek Hill's a different weapon now. Let's not forget. I bet you tried Tyreek Hill for Miko. It push come to shove, you take Tyreek Hill with you.
Everybody on this show would, Dre.
Nope.
You got a chance to chase the bag. You got to chase the bag.
Come on, talk about it, man. Talk about it, man.
But every championship team, you're going to have certain guys that are just guys, right? They're part of the team, and you can say right place at the right time. He's never been a high volume guy, never in his career, like whether it was at Georgia with the Chiefs, obviously rarely got on the field in New York. I don't know what the hell happened there, but he's just one of those guys. And it's not like he's just like a Garrick Dieter that they just keep around to be Patrick's caddy, right? He actually can contribute, but not in a huge amount. But he will make a player here that will maybe help you along during the playoff run. It happened in the Super Bowl. But the other thing is that there's a better chance that there's going to be a muffed punt or a drop ball or, this stuff like that.
Right.
But he's a guy that doesn't come off as arrogant or try to tell you how good a player he is, or that he's out there tweeting about having more rings than Tyreek has, right? So he's just one of those guys that you love to have on a championship team. And
you just got to pump some spirit in him, because Mahomes pumped spirit in him. He was down. He made a little oops, and Mahomes had
the squad this year. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it depends on how these other guys perform in camp. But
Kansas City,
he deserves everything that he's getting, and it's great for his hometown to say, "Hey, we're gonna," dude's won 3 Super Bowls. We got him. He's our hometown boy.
He's cool, man. He's a hometown guy. I'm just saying.
So do you think Nico Hardman was gonna get the Ring of Honor? He's intimated into. He's already intimated.
Why you see, Bo, you stretching it, man.
Yeah,
Stop.
That's stretching.
No, we doing all that. You put too much sugar on the. Too much icing on the cake.
He got his play on the Super Bowl ring. I mean, he's already immortalized.
God, dang, what you up on this dude, man? He put icing on the cake, man.
Yeah.
Is anyone in the Ring of Honor that's not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few.
So who would those be?
I'd have to look it up. Well, I mean, Dante Hall. You know, he was last year. I think
amazing guy. Dante
Hall. I think Tom is up there.
Impactful guy.
Gary Barbarough's up there. Let's see. Lynch is up there. He's not in the Hall of Fame.
Barbaro, Lynch, many Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
Dante Hall was kind of a singular type player that you could, he has signature plays that you can point to. Mm-hmm. I don't know that just the rings will get you into that ring, if you would, Hense. It would be awfully difficult because I don't know that his contribution measures up to the guys that what they did for the franchise up there. Now some of them didn't win Super Bowls. The teams just weren't as good as this one. So it's an interesting question, and that could be a good factor cap. But I would say cap if we were doing.
Yeah, Marty's up there too, and I hope they put Carl Peterson up there one day. Hey, let me get to a few comments here because we've kind of doing that. So Gary, this one made me laugh and torture myself in political sites. Waiting for football. Just don't do it. Just don't go there. Just do what I do. Just watch the repeat of the postseason and the Super Bowl during the season. The Chiefs will once again be a high-octane offense coupled with a top 5 defense. It's going to suck not to be a Chiefs fan. Let's see. Bingus Bongo, lack of routine or consistency of downtime as far as our schedule will be our greatest challenge this year, I believe. One main symptom I think I'd like to evolve is the bizarre schedule. Let's hope there's not a rise in injuries. Yeah. I was all ready to anoint the Chiefs as going undefeated until that 3-game stretch of 3 games in 10 days. I just don't see it happening. Ken St. Clair, Hardman will get attention from defense, just sprinting deep on every ball he has. That's true. Let's see. Yep, there we go. That kind of gets us a little bit up to date. I like this one too from Gary. I actually thought about this morning, and I think he's a little bit more than a third of the way. I don't like the fact that he's a third of the way through the Mahomes career. Well, if he duplicates what he did over the next 2/3 of his career, Mahomes will set a standard that's unprecedented forever. And I think that's ultimately his goal. But that's it. It's right there. Win Super Bowls. It's all that matters.
That'd be putting him close to 20 years in the league. I mean, that just seems like
I don't see it. I mean, I don't think he'll play that long.
No.
I'm thinking 12, maybe 14, maybe 15 tops. But that's
I think as long as he's healthy, he could. I could see him playing to like 39 or 40.
If
he's healthy and the team is more than competitive, I don't think he's going to stick around. If the team is just not that good, or Andy Reid's not the coach anymore. Any number of things that could happen in that time frame. And again, that's a ways off. But yeah, you look at it and it's like, this is going to be his 7th year, so 8th year in the league. So maybe another 10 years after this one.
I mean, he accomplished so much, man. He prime, man. The man already got 3 rings, man. Like for him to do it at a young age is amazing. It is amazing, but for him to do it this early, and we really think about the longevity. I mean, how much do this man really have to prove?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to prove anything. I think it's more so what he wants to accomplish. Right. And as long as it's fun, and if
it's something to enjoy, then yes. If he's
and then develops not the exact same relationship, but a similar relationship. Similar relationship with somebody like Kelsey, like the relationship he has with Travis. Now it's never going to be that, but just close to that. Somebody that, they're kind of see life through the same lens, and, they have a connection on the field, and then it just keeps the game interesting to see how far they can push things. So, yeah, there's a lot going to go into it, but I would say 39 or 40, barring any injuries. I think that's his kind of wheelhouse.
Yeah. Well, he's a remarkable athlete. So if anybody can do it, I guess he could play in his 40s if he wanted to. But again, I don't know.
Keep Bobby Stroop employed.
No, guys. No, he can play till he's 40 if they protect him. Now you get past his 30s, then we're not seeing Mahomes put kneecaps back together, bro.
Yeah,
he's not doing that no more. You gotta protect the man.
But speaking of somebody that can get it done, it's only one man to get it done, and that's Mr. Eric Hense.
Mr. Eric Hense, indeed. He is your trusted real estate advisor. He's my trusted real estate advisors. When we started Chiefs Blitz back in July, Eric was the first person to call me up and say, hey, what can I do to help? I said, hey, we'd love to have you as a sponsor. He said, I'm in. And he was our first sponsor, and we appreciate everything that Eric does. So in turn, we're trying to help him out in his real estate career. So if you're looking to buy a house or sell a house, give Eric a call at 816-729-3785. You can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com. If you want someone who's top shelf, someone who's attentive, someone who's going to answer every text, every phone call, in every situation you're in that you don't understand or don't like, and he has to go back and go battle with the other real estate agent to get what you want, you need a fighter, and that's what Eric Hense is. So give him a call today at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
That's right.
All right.
Go ahead and get into this in the comments, Nick.
All right. So Gary, let's see. Tilly Train. Hope there are enough improvements on offense to get Mahomes another 5,000-yard season. Like to see Kelsey get over 1,000. I think both are going to happen. Gary, bringing it today. Even Brady had a dad bod, but that was when he was at 20. He was not that way. Mahomes loves the game, his competitive streak, his heart all going to the longevity of his career. And then Bingus Bonger again, the Mahomes Hollywood Brown connection is going to be awesome, I believe, this year. Time to break more records. And I think it's entirely possible that he's going to hit over 5,000.
Love too.
What's that, Chase? Yeah, we throw the ball way too much for Mahomes to last till 39. His arm will be gone by then.
It's coming to protection, man. We got to protect
if his dad body holds up.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Protect him.
Gary's taking it a step further. Tilly Mahomes has a chance to get closer to 6K. What is the NFL record for passing yards? Somebody tell us, Gary. Tell us that so I don't have to look it up.
I want to see it was either Manning or Breeze.
Breeze? Is it 55?
They're pretty close. Yeah, it's like 5,400 in that range. 53, 5,400. Now, again, I think that was probably 16-game season. That factors into it as well. I think
54-77, Peyton Manning in 2013.
Yeah, I was going to say that was with the Broncos. So
Drew Brees had 51-62.
Again, the only thing that I would caution on that is that the year he did that was like they had to do. That's just the way they played.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the type of defense that the Chiefs have, and I hate to be the wet blanket here, and I don't know that it really matters how many yards he throws for, but the point is that, again, fewer possessions, they're taking longer possessions with the ball. They don't need to throw it around the yard just because. So again, you'll figure it out pretty quickly. Maybe 3-4 weeks in. Last year, again, it took well into the end of the year to figure out who they were and how they were going to play. But I think this year it'll happen much sooner, and we'll see if that's really the game plan. But bottom line is they just need to win whatever it takes to win games, and throwing for 554, 78 or whatever would be great. I don't know that's
it just our expectations is so high because of Hollywood Brown, the speed. We think he's going to just take the roof off, and then sometimes it goes the exact opposite. So if he does get to 6,000 yards, that's a plus, because that means he's airing the ball out. That means less running game, more throwing. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's basically, it ain't gonna be 50-50. It's gonna be less run, more throwing, which I definitely disagree. Because
well, it always is. It always is an Andy Reid offense. I don't think there's any question about that. But I think if it's closer to like 60-40 pass run, that's kind of
that's probably typical Andy Reid.
I think that's where they want to be. Once you start getting much higher percent, if you get into like 65, 70% of the time you're throwing the ball, now you're putting him at more chance of injury, more chance of just, shorter possessions, 3 and outs, or, quick touchdowns. Now the defense coming back on the field. It doesn't make for complimentary football.
It doesn't because you're stressed. And then what happens is you put more pressure on that offensive line for him to throw them many yards. You know what I'm saying? 6,000 yards, that offensive line got to be stout for him to do that. So I definitely disagree with that.
Hey, got a question for Coach Dre.
Let's ask Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, I got a question if I may.
Go ahead and ask that question, sir. Answer that.
Okay. Do you see the Chiefs will pick up another running back this year? No, I don't think so. I think the Chiefs got what they want. I think Chiefs got some competitive guys in the backfield. They competitive. It's not like he's looking for a 1,000-yard rusher. It just needs a guy that can complement the offense. So, that'd be just fine. I think Chiefs be just fine.
I think they're going to bring Jerick McKinnon back at some point during camp. That'd be my guess.
I think it depends on what they see out of the young dudes.
Yeah.
What does Prince look like this year?
Right.
Steele. And who was the kid from TCU?
Is that it?
The undrafted free agent. So
TCU, right.
So again, we'll see. And then of course, Keontae Ingram is a guy that he keeps bringing
Imani Bailey. Sorry,
Imani Bailey. So we'll see what those guys have. And then does he kind of find a niche for himself in this offense? And if he can take Jet's role, there's nobody quite like McKinnon. He's just whenever he's been healthy, whenever he's been healthy in his career, he's always been highly effective. The only time he hasn't is when he's been hurt. And unfortunately, that happened a lot when he was younger, whether it was in Minnesota or San Francisco. So you can't go wrong with Jet, but you'd like to have some youth at that position moving forward. Hopefully one of these young guys steps up to be that number 3 or maybe even number 2 guy.
But we have another question. Go ahead and answer
moon hits your
that question is for Luke.
Pizza pie, that's amore.
Go ahead, Luke. Go ahead, talk to him, Luke.
Do you think Mahomes is transformed? We talked about this earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Transform the quarterback position.
It's wrong one.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Go ahead.
Little reboot. All right. What do we got? Okay, McKinnon, it'd be great to come back, but I think Chiefs are a little hesitant because of his age and past injuries. Yeah, and that's that's really fair because of what they've seen. But again, when he is healthy, he's impactful. So it's going to come down to those guys in camp. We talked about them and Prince and Bailey and Steele and Keontae Ingram. They cut Hassan Hall. We'll see if they bring him back, if they cut anybody else. But, somebody steps up, then, McKinnon is – I thought McCole Hardman was going to be the break glass in case of emergency. Looks like it might be Jet unless somebody else picks him up. But nobody's going to pick up, a 32 or 33-year-old running back unless it's a real dire.
He's going to give the Chiefs every chance to sign him.
Right.
And they're going to wait. Where's my theme music?
It's coming. Hey,
seriously, it's like,
do a quick search. My big fat Greek wedding.
No, that's not a theme. All right, well, I'm gonna answer Bingus Bonger's question without my theme music.
Bingus on a roll today.
Do you see one or two plays from Mahomes and Winston at the same time? Absolutely. I think that's a terrific idea. Put Mahomes out wide, let Winston under center, and they'll do a running play. No, I think it's entirely possible. Andy Reid's creative.
Where's my theme music?
That's all right. I understand where I rank in the show.
But I'll get you something good pretty soon.
Dang.
That's a Dundada boat. You are slipping. Like you're slipping, man.
Hey,
When you post those, they supposed to have Nick number one. He supposed to have Nick number one, man. I don't know what you're doing, player.
I don't care about rankings, guys. I just want my.
Nah, Nick,
I just want my piece
man.
of the pie.
You number one in my eyes. That's right. You get the first piece. All right. We're Thanksgiving. You getting your first plate, sir. You getting your first plate.
I will find a song for you. I will find a song.
All right.
But speaking of that, speaking of songs, it's somebody's birthday today.
Yes, it is.
What you think about that, Nick?
My next door neighbor
Bobby
growing up.
Bell. Look at that guy.
Bobby Bell is 84 today. Bobby and I lived in the same street on Delmar in Prairie Village growing up. I know his son very well. Bobby and I actually chatted recently, and he was the best linebacker I've ever seen play. He was the fastest linebacker I've ever seen play. And NFL Hall of Fame has a video out there, and there's a quote from him. And somebody asked him how he wanted to be remembered, and he goes, "Well, if the opponent doesn't remember the hit that I gave them, then I didn't do my job." And this guy punished people. Nobody had seen in the NFL or the AFL at that point of a linebacker that big. I think he's 6'4". He was so fast. I mean, I remember he would recover onside kicks and score touchdowns. He was a hitter. Just watch the 60s film and just the way he tackled and the violence of the sport. And he just laid it on people. And, he was the first guy in my neighborhood to have a swimming pool, even though it was not an area in which they were opening arms to African Americans back in the day. In fact, it was pretty difficult for Bobby to get a house in our neighborhood, but he persevered as he did with everything in life. And I think one of the best stories I had was back in the day, guys, in the 60s, Bobby's first paycheck was like $18,000, and he signed with the Chiefs over the Vikings, and he worked for the Ford Motor Company. And his job was to catch all the guys that missed work and claim that they were sick when they weren't, just to try to get benefits.
He was the officer.
He was the truant officer at Ford Motor Company.
Do you imagine that guy coming to your door?
Oh my God. Knock, knock. Kick.
Sorry, I'm late. Sorry, I'm late, sir.
Run it.
Gentle human being, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I had the time of my life growing up as a kid, in the neighborhood with him. He was very active. He was very engaged. Bobby Bell Jr. and I went to Trailwood Elementary together in Prairie Village. And we just we all had a good time. And he eventually was welcomed in the neighborhood, and some of the individuals who, didn't want it eventually understood that he was just a really good person with a great family. And he used to let us swim in his pool anytime we wanted to. And all he said was, "Hey, just clean up." And I remember one night we came out, we were still out there like 4:00 in the morning, and he comes home from a road trip like 4:30. And he sat out there for 2 hours. He goes, "I'm going to bed." He goes, "Guys, make sure you clean up." And we cleaned up the pool. We all went home. But he was special, and absolutely one of the best Chiefs players of all time.
Yeah, just that you look at him, you can tell. I mean, he was a great athlete. They probably could have lined him up just about anywhere on the field, and he would have been
played tight end.
Just as good at any position on the field. Just an all-time great. And you talk about Hense, and you talk about Ring of Honor. He embodies that, and you just wonder if you put McCole Hardman next to him and say, okay, is he going to be in the Ring of Honor?
I don't think he gets up to the. I don't think he gets to number 8.
I think you have your answer by doing that. Just a stud all the way around.
Chiefs, he was also the first outside of Lamar Hunt. He was the first Chiefs player to go in the Hall of Fame. He went in before Willie and Lenny and Jan Stenerud. That's pretty impressive. In fact, I was there. Another quick story. I was there. He had a Bobby Bell barbecue restaurant, and I was actually there that day. I actually worked there when I was a kid, and he got the notice and that he got elected to the Hall of Fame. And all he said is he couldn't believe he got in before Lenny. I mean, he thought Lenny deserved it. Clark Hunt had gotten in, I think, in 74, maybe 72. But Bobby was the first player from that era. And again, he was just as shocked as anybody that he went in before the rest of the guys.
Listen,
And that dude,
that's what I'm saying about greatness. That's what I'm saying about greatness, man.
The 4-3 and
Chiefs
3-4. He could have been like the ultimate outside linebacker in a 3-4. Imagine.
And I said earlier, he could have played tight end
coming off the edge.
He could easily play tight end.
You see what I'm talking about, Bo? You see what I'm talking about, Bo? Right here, this is legendary. Right here, this is people that deserve. That's right. Yeah. That's what we're talking. We ain't talking about. We ain't talking about you itching. You know what I'm saying? You be on the, on the side. Getting pumped up. We're talking about football players, sir. Football guys that love the sport, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Nicole Hartman. Hey, the Chiefs did good with Nicole Hartman. I feel like he's going to have an awesome year. Maybe.
We'll see.
He may. He just may.
He just may.
Hey guys, about Friday's show, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't highlight that Friday show again. If more people don't watch that, if you didn't see it and you're watching us right now, go back and watch Friday's show. The fit list was something that we just kind of came up with on the fly, but the backdrop of it is what made the show, and that was the photographs of our very own friend here.
One of the greatest to do it,
Mr. TMZ Todd.
One of the greatest to do it, man.
Just
to do it, man.
I don't want to say not exclusive, but certainly very unique to us, our own property that we didn't clip from somewhere else. And I just thought, we needed to really enhance that. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch. If you have seen it, go back and watch it. It was just
amazing work. Amazing work.
Coming up in training camp, the Chiefs announced the start of training camp. I think it's on the 21st. Hense will be up there. We're going to have a lot of pictures. We're going to be there.
Drop no glasses.
Yeah, we're going to be there as many days as possible to give you a unique perspective. And again, I know there's a lot of Chiefs sites out there. I know you have a lot of choices, but I don't think anybody does a show that we have more fun than the four guys in the bar.
Absolutely.
Subscribe, like, tell your friends about it. We're going to build this thing up. We're going to do some cool things as we get closer to the regular season, and we got a couple of special events that we're working on for the regular season as well. So ChiefsBlitz.com, but don't forget to like us and share us and to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. It's all free.
Hey, it's all free of charge. It's all free.
And I want to shout out Jawan Taylor and MVS. Who else? I think Kareem Humphrey put it on his story too. But shout out those guys for sharing it. Shout out for Lou to come up with the fit list. I said, hey, that's a great name to come up with it. And also, we will be there. It's not going to be nothing like us at training camp. Everybody else going to have there, but hey, we're going to get you up close in action. We're going to be right there to get you the one-on-one.
Again, guys,
get that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button. Also, keep your glasses with your kids in their pockets. Keep your glasses put up. Because if I see a pair of shades, coach is taking them. And I'm going to tell you like this, coach is taking them. Y'all know what pair I'm taking them. But the reason I say is because Mahomes, y'all know Michael Jordan come out with his own shoe, right? Mahomes come out with his own pair of shades, man.
He's got his own shoes too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's got his
shades, headband.
I think for the first time the other day I guess it was Thursday before the ceremony, he wore his own signature Adidas shirt. Whereas I've seen him in the shoes and whatever, but the PH kind of like the funky logo with Adidas. So that was like one of the first times. But yeah, he's got it all. He's got the shoes, he's got the shirt, he's
got the ring.
That man can retire.
You want a sub?
Eat.
You want insurance?
That man's still gonna eat, man. So it doesn't even matter.
Come on. Like the restaurants.
He's opening a steak restaurant. He and Kelsey are opening a steak restaurant in Kansas City too.
Guys, you talking about a man don't have to do. Look, he already got 3 rings, guys. He's cool.
What's the restaurant everybody going to?
Whataburger? Is it Whataburger?
Whataburger.
Whataburger.
Y'all tried it yet though?
I think In-N-Out Burger is a lot better. That's just me. Winstead's I think is good. Yeah. I've tried Whataburger a couple of times. But
so the burger, is it gluten-free bun? What was it? Is the patty real juicy?
I don't know. I tried it in Texas, so it's been a long time.
Okay. The juicier the meat.
I'm working on your theme music, Nick. I'm going to make sure.
That's all good. I just appreciate it.
I definitely
make sure it's got plenty of accordion.
Yeah, that's right.
Accordion.
But we also want to work on getting like Lou brought up before, like the memorabilia to have you come on to talk about it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Should I grab something now?
Hey, go
Story
ahead.
time.
All right, let's see. All right.
Story time with Nick. Get out your milk and cookies.
Hey, I like that. Story time with Nick.
All right,
Story time with
okay,
Nick.
this is a Len Dawson signed Super Bowl 1 card. Can you see it? Is it? I'm not taking the plastic off.
It's a little too much light.
Okay, it's
Back.
a flawless.
It's too much
There we
shine.
go.
It's too much shine.
This way.
Lenny.
The right.
There
the
you
other
go,
side.
right
The other
there. Yeah,
hand.
I can see the 16.
All right, Len Dawson.
Perfect.
This is a one of one flawless card that all the winning Super Bowl quarterbacks have signed to date. There's only one, and I have it.
That's
and
right.
my son found this for me, and I appreciate it a great deal. Let's see what else I got here. All right, let's do a baseball item since I'm wearing my Kansas City Royals. This is a helmet signed by Bo Jackson, Kansas City Royals.
Sweet.
I have never seen one of these anywhere. I found this online, and
Bo Jackson,
the Bo Jackson man. I mean, it's just
Bo Jackson was a heck of an athlete.
He could have been the greatest basketball player. I'm the greatest football player or baseball player of all time had he not played football.
Did he outplay Deion? Did he outplay Deion? You think Bo Jackson would have been better than Deion of a two sport athlete?
Well, yeah. I mean, if he hadn't played for the Raiders, he goes to the enemy, but the Chiefs fan and the Royals fans still loved him until obviously he got hurt, and then they had nothing to do with him after that. So, that's a problem. But I think to me, I was there his rookie season. I watched that home run launch that was 500 feet. I watched him, get a double on a ground ball to the outfield. I watched him break his bat. There was nothing he could do. Then the throw in Seattle, throwing out Harold Reynolds at the plate without a hop. My goodness.
The play in Baltimore at the old Memorial Stadium where he kind of ran up the wall, and you could see like the spike marks. And I mean, he was just otherworldly when he was at Auburn. I mean, it was, I don't know. I mean, you guys probably don't remember Marcus Dupree at Oklahoma, but it was very similar in terms of just this big. It was like Derrick Henry, but somehow even faster somehow, right? And it was much more a running sport, at the time, NFL and college, and he was just a freight train.
Yeah, he was unique. I mean, it's just Art Stewart was the guy that ultimately got him to sign. The Royals drafted him in the 4th round, and this is when he told Tampa Bay, "I'm not playing for you guys." And the Royals didn't even. I mean, Avron Fogelman was a part owner at the time of the Royals, and it wasn't a whole lot of money that it took to get him done, but he was something else. I mean, batting practices, people would go out an hour and a half before the game and already be in the seats just to watch him hit batting practice. Wow. And everybody was saying, okay, is he going to hit it out? Is he going to hit it out?
Because there's always a chance you were going to see something you'd never seen before and might not ever see.
You saw in the field.
Might not ever see again.
So do y'all feel like Bo would have had a better career in baseball?
Better than
football?
Better than football, yes.
You think he would have been a Hall of Famer. George Brett said the same thing. He goes, he's never seen anybody like it. Never seen, and he said he lamented over if he'd have just focused on baseball and the Raiders weren't so aggressive in trying to sign him. I think he would have been, if he was healthy, he would have broke so many records. Yeah, he would have been a lock.
Baseball term, the ultimate 5-tool player.
Yeah, the best 5-tool.
Do everything. I mean, obviously, he was probably the fastest player to ever play in the major leagues. He could throw the ball from the warning track to the home plate. He could hit the ball a country mile, if you would, and just his fielding was just as good. Just a blur.
He wasn't that experienced as a player at Auburn. He played a little bit on the baseball team just to kind of to show that he could. Right. It wasn't that he had the ultra love of the game because football was number one, but
Kareem said he's the greatest athlete of all time. He said the greatest athlete of all time. Do y'all believe that?
It's hard to measure, but it's hard to really vote against it because of what you saw and what he walks onto the football field and all of a sudden he's dominating there. He's playing baseball. It's like, oh my God, what? I mean, he was, and then, in terms of popularity, walking into the sport, I mean, we talked about it, I think with, Magic or Caitlin Clark or whatever, walking into a sport, being the most popular player. I mean, I don't know. I don't typically look at like all-star votes or whatever, but I would imagine that first year in, he had to be among the top.
Well, he was. He hit those 2 home runs in the '89 All-Star game.
Just anybody that saw him wanted to see more.
Yeah,
man, that's
what's the plaque on the back of you on the floor? Is that a record, or what is that?
Where on the floor there?
Yeah,
that is
over your right shoulder.
Yeah, that is my Elton John signed Captain Fantastic album.
Dang.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
I like the
money right there.
I will take the plastic off and I'll show it on Wednesday's show.
That is some money you out there. That's 2 rents.
That was I've been very fortunate to meet Elton several times, and got some really interesting stories with him. But Captain Fantastic was my favorite Elton John album, and a friend of mine in the East Coast he worked at a radio station and he had thousands of signed albums that he got during his rock and roll days. And I worked in the rock and roll business for 4 years as well. And I got some stuff signed, but this to me that's the holy grail for me. That album was my favorite and he had it.
Yeah.
And they were like selling for thousands of dollars online. And I told him my Elton John story and he just said, hey, I'll give it to you for X. And
story time.
I couldn't Venmo the money fast enough. And so he wouldn't change his mind. And then he got he sent me the ticket stub from that night and also his backstage pass from that night. So it's kind of all inclusive. And then I put some other stuff in there, but I'll take it out of the plastic. I'll show it on Wednesday.
Hey, everybody in the comment section say Bo Jackson was him. Everybody's saying like Bo Jackson was an unbelievable player, man. So I guess Kareem, I guess you can agree.
You can agree with Tilly Train a little bit there. It's hard, but from what you've seen personally, like if you didn't see him, then I could see, it's hard to compare. But for all the guys that I've seen, I don't know of anybody that was able to do what he was able to do at the level he was able to do it at the highest level and dominate at those levels. So I think from that perspective of the guys that I've seen in my life, it's not he's the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those that watch him live, we watched him live and to see what he did, and the level. I mean, the level of excitement when he was on the on deck circle, it was incredible. And his rookie his first game, he beats out a routine ground ball to first base, like routine, like just a halfway decent roller to the shortstop, and he beats it by 2 feet. Or 2
I got a Bo Jackson signed ball too.
Yeah,
I can only imagine. I mean, if you were a young kid in the late 50s and you went to Yankee Stadium and you're watching Mickey Mantle play before he got hurt.
Yeah,
that could be a comparison.
Sure.
But again, I never saw it. I wasn't there, so I can't I really can't put it into context. But from the legend and things that you hear and people that were there and writers that have written about him, that might have been close. And again, he had an unfortunate injury that he was never the same afterwards.
Yeah. No, he
I
never was.
love hearing Bo Jackson talk because everybody still thinks that Deion Sanders is the greatest two-sport athlete. And then they come.
Okay, no. Healthy, yes. No question. But had Bo stayed healthy and not had the injury with the Raiders, then possibly
he would have surpassed.
He would have easily surpassed that. I think with Bo, had he been healthy, I think the Royals would have more than 2 World Series titles. I really believe that.
What about Jeff Garcia?
Bigger, faster, stronger than anyone.
So right now, Tilly asks, who is the best pure athlete in the NFL today?
Wow.
Patrick Mahomes.
Athlete.
I'll say Lamar. If you're gonna say athlete,
If you're gonna say athlete, yeah.
Lamar. Hands down.
Yeah, I as much as I'm not a big fan of Lamar, I would say from an athletic perspective, he's the guy. I will admit it.
Lamar.
I mean, Gary 11, man, he's telling it like it is. Patrick, athlete and talent are two different things.
Yeah.
The talent pool is Patrick Mahomes swimming all by himself at the quarterback position. But athletically speaking, I don't think I've seen anybody quite like Lamar when he's got the ball in his hands and he's running the football.
Yeah,
running and he can throw it. I'll put it that way. But again, man, thank you guys. I'm gonna try to get a graphic made with what we're gonna call it again, Nick story time
with Nick. Yeah,
we're gonna put
I will bring out a collectible a week, and I will, or maybe twice a week.
About it.
And I will tell the story, because everything to me is in my collectibles, it's all personal. I just don't buy, sell, and trade random stuff. It has to be cool. And maybe by Wednesday, I got something new coming to the man cave. Hopefully it'll be here by Wednesday. If not, we'll show it next week. Something that I've coveted for a very, very long time. And but everything has special meaning to me, and that's why I do it. And I've been collecting since I was a kid. I've got a lot of one-of-a-kind stuff. I got some old Dawson and Hank Stram stuff, and it's just stuff that's personal to me.
Right.
And I did sell off part of my collection a few months back. So, and I kind of kept the stuff that's most important. But
there you go.
That's why I do it.
I was just thinking of that question again, and I just a couple names came to mind, and I guess you can throw them around. But DK Metcalf, Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Oh, Myles Garrett's a good one. Myles Garrett is a good one.
That can just run, jump. They're strong as anybody you can imagine, and just from an purely athleticism, those guys. Yeah, had to think about that one. I couldn't come up with one right away.
Yeah, Hense. I'm going to go Myles Garrett on this one. I gotta go Myles Garrett, man. I gotta go Myles Garrett on this one, man. I gotta go Myles Garrett, man.
Hey, I got Nick. I think Lamar Jackson won. I got Nick.
That's a good.
Hey,
I think now it's
I'm about to go. I'm about to go with Myles,
regular season quarterback.
Now it's counselor at law. Hense, I mean, he's like making an argument here, and he got Nick to flip. There's a 180 right there.
I can change my mind on occasion. I admit it.
All right, but again, man,
wait. Who would you draft though? Lamar Jackson or Myles Garrett? Who would you draft?
I would have taken Garrett just because I think a pass rusher is.
Yeah, don't push it with Nick. That way we got him. We got him.
You might lose.
You gave him an excuse. You gave him an excuse to just turn it right back around.
Yeah, Garrett would have been the guy.
Myles Garrett would have been the guy. I got you. I go Myles Garrett also. I
had to go to Lamar Jackson because it's a quarterback rating. So yeah.
Yeah, first overall pick. You're
gonna need your defensive end. You're gonna need your defensive end that can chase those quarterbacks.
What we're gonna have? I got a vision. It's gonna be Nick's story time. Nick sitting in the chair. A lot of little Chiefs fans around.
Big old glass of milk, some Oreos,
almond milk.
He got the Chiefs Blitz Christmas hat on, and he's
double stuff.
Yeah,
there we go.
Double stuff, and we got some almond milk. A big old glass of almond milk. We don't do cow pus. Big old glasses of good old almond milk. Yeah.
But let's go into let's go into the sponsor before we close out. Go ahead.
All right, let's talk about my good friend one more time, Mr. Eric Haynes. With the Eric Haynes Group, give him a call at 816-729-3785 if you choose Eric to buy or sell a house. And he concludes the matter with a contract sale and final. I will personally part with one of my Len Dawson items, and I have a lot of them, as we'll start showing on the show here shortly. But anyway, you want someone you can trust. You want someone who's going to be there for you, and that's Eric Haynes. 816-729-3785. Email him at esellskc@gmail.com. And trust this man. He knows what he's doing, and he'll take good care of you.
proud sponsor of Chief Who.
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead and get the shout outs, Coach Jerry.
You know I will. Gary, what's going on? Gary Holland, Kareem, Tilly. And we got a new guy on the show. A new young fellow on the show. Let me see. Shout out to the auntie Bingus Bunkner. All right, let's see. Where
Bingus came in hot.
Freeway 24 on again.
Yeah, Freeway. What up, Freeway? It's been a minute, Free. Chase.
Yep.
There we go. Chase. That's the guy I was looking for. Chase, man.
Is that Jamar Chase?
I know. I kind of thought it was there for a minute. We were getting trolled.
Burner account.
Yeah,
it's a little too on point with the name.
St. Clair, Gary, what's going on, guys? What is going on, guys? But again, guys, appreciate the love and share, man. Yeah,
hey,
subscribe button.
Switch your Yahoo account to a Google account.
You gotta have a Google account. You gotta have a Gmail account.
But again, man, thank you guys for joining in. We're going to have a lot more that's coming into the show. We're going to cover the offseason like nobody else because we will be at training camp, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be actually
for the next 4 weeks. These Chiefs sites are going to be taking vacations, but not us. We'll be here. So check us out every Monday and Wednesday
at noon. Grind.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. Again, please subscribe.
If y'all have any suggestions as to outside of Chiefs topics you'd like us to discuss,
Chiefs topics,
or Chiefs, I'm just saying, but just go ahead because again, last thing we want to do is talk about stuff that you don't want to hear about. But we typically are looking for things that are in the news that are fairly interesting and that we have opinions about. So. If there's something that you guys want to interject, obviously you can during the show, but even if
we are not shy of opinions,
you think of something afterwards, go ahead and put it in the comments in one of the shows and we'll get to it.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, appreciate y'all. We'll be back Wednesday at 12 o'clock Central Time. Again, please like, subscribe, share on our YouTube channel. It's free. We'll have a new episode of Chiefs Who, and hopefully my theme music will be ready.
Story time with Nick.
Yes.
We'll do a story time. We'll do a collectible story time too. I'll find a piece and it won't be glared. I'll take it out of its case.
That's Nick right there. That's Nick.
All right, guys.
No, that's loose. Peace out, guys.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Lou, my duh.